through how quickly you think that the UAE will be taken off the red list for the UK. How quickly will we see those flights resuming and people being able to go back and forth?
I think, first of all, we have to prove to the world that we are on the top 3 vaccinated people, and that's nearly 12 million people have been vaccinated so far in the UAE. We have only 9.5 million people who lives here. So that really should make the UK government think that we should be off the red list.
When you think about this a bit more broadly, obviously countries across the world have been struggling to get a handle on COVID-19 and to find a way to get people back in the skies, find a way to get people back to traveling. How quickly do you think that we're going to see the Western countries open up?
I think we see now within Europe it's opening up. The US, I think the traffic will be there since they vaccinated a big number of people. Okay, people, I'm sure that everybody looking into the summer now and everybody want to travel there, especially the people who haven't been traveling for the last over nearly a year and a half. I'm sure those people want to go somewhere, especially people who want to go and go back to their homes. You know, I mean, if you think, I mean, you asked me the first question about the UK. There is more than 150,000 people lives within the UAE. I'm sure they want to go back home. Their kids want to go back and maybe see friends and family. So I'm sure in the next 6 months we will see a big movement of traffic.
As the chairman of Emirates, but also, of course, as a member of the royal family, are you guys speaking directly to the UK government about fixing the situation?
Yes, our official is really speaking, taking that very seriously, talking to the government and to the official there to make sure that we should be very soon off the red list. And I think also if we demonstrate it with the bridge that we created just before that. Maybe some people, they took it negative because people are enjoying themselves here. They've been locked down in their own country and they enjoy it here. They exaggerated a bit, especially people going through the social media. But I think if you look here, everybody is really keeping their distance, wearing their mask. The government really put a very strict rules, you know. And that's why we end up living our normal life.
What about the industry more broadly? Obviously, as we say, different areas, different places opening up at different times. Now we see a lot more movement in the United States, for example, the CDC and the White House essentially saying that it's time to remove masks, get back to work, if you will. What does it mean for the industry as a whole?
I'm sure the industry, it's tough. All the airline been through a tough time, you know, and everybody is looking to open up. Now it's more of an external factor. It's not only the airline. When I talk government, you have to work with government. It's not the old bilateral. And with what you should be doing, you know, I think the airline, especially in Emirates, we took every measure to make sure that the safety of our passenger, our people who, and as a crew, cabin crew, everybody at the airport is really up to that standard where everybody should really safe traveling or coming to the destination.
It's been said that everyone has to remain pretty flexible at a point where different COVID cases are happening. Particularly, we've seen a rise in Asia. We've seen, obviously, the devastating impact of COVID in India. How quickly do you think that Emirates will resume flights to India?
You know, I think it's very serious. We've been helping really with the Indian situation by sending a lot of resources. We're even allowing NGOs to ship things for free of charge. All that is a positive message because India to us is also an important destination. It is one of the first stations for Emirates to start flying from day one, and that was in 1985.
Absolutely. So what about the cash flow for Emirates at this point? Because Tim Clark, president of Emirates, was speaking in April. He was talking about having cash over the next 4 to 5 to 6 months and the possibility that the government might have to help Emirates out.
Yeah,
Where are we with that?
I think that really the government and our owner ICD to put really a lot of injection into our capital, and that has helped. Also, we did a lot of measure by introducing safe cutting costs from the airline and doing things in the best possible way.
And in terms of a return to profit, How soon do you think that Emirates is going to get there?
We are like all the giant airlines. It would take us some time, but we are there and ready for the market when it's rebound to start. I mean, if you see today, we are flying all our 777, for example, 150, one of them, and also some of our 380s. We're looking into really introducing more of the 380 into the Emirates network, because the big market will open, and I think we will be there to serve.
What about employment? Because there were a lot of layoffs over the last 6 to 12 months.
Open up and the market open up, I'm sure you will see that we are bringing back slowly to the airline.
In terms of the plans to introduce premium economy, there were a lot of conversations prior to the pandemic about Emirates evolving in that way. Does that mean that you guys are going to move forward with those plans now, or are they still on hold? What's happening?
No, I think they are there. It is part of the plan. We have some of our aircraft in the premium class, and I think passenger will love it. They will love to be having those seats, and they fly.
Sir, before we let you go, in terms of the challenges for the industry as a whole, obviously COVID-19 is something that nobody can essentially plan for. But what's the strategy at Emirates?
The strategy of Emirates is to continue doing what we used to. Open up a new market, be there before everybody, give the best service, better to fly with Emirates.
In terms of flights to Israel, the Abraham Accords were a major, major achievement for the UAE and Bahrain as well. That was, of course, at the end of last year. Now we're seeing the violence on the rise for the last 2 weeks in Israel. There was so much excitement about these countries opening up. Where does that leave the UAE?
It's very sad to see this war happen and just now, and of course we're looking forward to serve that market sometime in the very near future when things will be settled down. And I think we are always thinking that 2 states will be the best solution.
Do you think that Emirates will resume flights soon, or do you think there's still going to be some time before?
I think we always take it. We resume flight, where is a market we can serve. I think Fly Dubai is there flying at the moment.
And they've paused flights, Fly Dubai.
I think with the situation like this, you will always, it's like weather.
Your Highness, thank you so much for joining CNBC.